And
so sorry to hear that.
And that picture, if you zoom in, what I see is how tightly his knuckles are gripped around mine. You can see the whites of our knuckles because we are smiling and doing our job.
Hey guys, so we're back with part 2 of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's Synastry. Okay, in the last episode, we spoke about how Prince Harry's planets, are changing or have changed Meghan Markle's life. So now we're looking at how her chart is changing or has changed his life. All right. First of all, what we notice is that Prince Harry is actually a Sagittarius ascendant. Yeah. Remember, guys, we are looking at this analysis from a Vedic point of view, simply because in the Western astrology, there is no focus on things like Atma Karaka or Dara Karaka, okay? So we here now just focusing more on this analysis using the Vedic astrology. Let's go. Prince Harry, as we said in part 1, that his Dara Karaka is actually Jupiter, okay? And Jupiter is on his ascendant, okay? Basically, Dara Karaka is just, that Karaka that indicates marriage, or a serious commitment nowadays. And for his, or in terms of his Atma Karaka, we saw that it was represented by sun, okay? And his sun is actually in the 9th house, 9th house being the house of higher learning, higher knowledge, philosophies, travels, foreigners, or foreign things, cultures, and all of that, spirituality to some extent as well. Okay, guys. Now, for Meghan's chart, or from Meghan's chart, we have noted that her Atma Karaka is actually Venus. Oh, wow. Yeah. So basically, all of her might, herself, just her, her strength is actually ruled and favored by Venus. Okay. Venus is a benefic. So she really has, a planet that is the lord of media, that is the lord of entertainment, which is her industry, and she has this by her side as her strength, And in terms of her Dara Karaka, it's actually Rahu, you guys, because normally in Vedic, we learn that we don't consider Rahu, okay? But we do in cases whereby there are 2 planets, like the main planets, and these planets are giving equal degrees, or So for her charts, we know that Mercury is one of the planets that are actually sharing or are equal to another planet in terms of degrees. So we consider her Rahu as well. And her Rahu in her case, or in this scenario, is her Dara Karaka. Okay? Rahu is very important to Meghan. Okay, how so? We saw that in part one. She has a Rahu on her ascendant, okay? Meaning that Rahu literally describes her persona, her appearance, her physical traits, okay? And her self-esteem, okay? So with Rahu is a very, very useful magician in terms of when you want to win over your enemies, when you want to win over competitions, when you want to just win in life, okay? When Rahu is on your side, literally you can get away with anything, okay? Because Rahu is like a smoke, like a magician, some of the qualities that may appear to be there, you know, maybe in the background, they're not as big as we see them. But the Rahu will just magnify everything that it touches, okay? And luckily for Meghan, being her Dara Karaka, gosh, a planet that represents marriage. Of course, Rahu was bound to give to her the highest of the highest positions in terms of marriage. Okay? Because that's what Rahu does. Rahu literally just amplifies whatever it touches, and it can change itself. It can, transform into whatever it needs to be in order to attain goals. Okay, so obviously favoring her marriage, Rahu had literally had to choose like a prince, like the highest position that can represent Meghan's husband. Okay, and we know that Rahu represents things that are foreign, and of course she's married to a foreigner who is Prince Harry. Okay. But we're looking mostly now today at what Meghan is contributing to Prince Harry's life. Okay, guys. So if we are looking at the at the planets written in red, we will notice, okay, that these are Meghan Markle's planets. Okay, we have superimposed, and let's go. We are going to skip the fifth house like we did in part one on Meghan Markle's chart. Okay, the reason is that, again, there's a lot of stuff going on in this fifth house, and the fifth house represents many things, including children. And I don't want to talk about children. I don't want to touch anything related to their children, okay? Because you could see from Meghan Markle's chart that there was Mars, there was Ketu, there was Lilith, like there was lots of stuff, lots of malefics going on. And again, on Prince Harry's chart, the same is happening with Meghan Markle's planets coming here. You see again Mars, you see Ketu, you see Chiron. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that is really going on with their fifth house. So we must remember again, fifth house also represents fame. It's a house of fame. It is also a house of creativity. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff happening there, like their creativity is also being impacted. But guys, let's just not talk about it. Let's leave that house alone. Okay, let's skip to the eighth house. Look at that. Look at that. So originally, Prince Harry does not have any planets in his eighth house. Okay, what is the eighth house? An eighth house represents transformations, sudden changes, heritage, wills, money of other people, abuse, violence, trauma, occult, cults, astrology, hidden things like that are buried underground, like it could be like bodies, literally. We're talking about minerals as well because they're hidden underneath the ground. Eighth house is also about psychology because it deals about all the information and the traumas that are hidden in our heads or in our hearts. We when we look at this house, we are also looking at the in-laws. So now, okay, it also, I must say this, it also represents the life of marriage, okay? The seventh house is the marriage itself, and then the eighth house is the life that you share with your spouse, okay, after you get married. So now, Meghan Markle's Sun, Rahu, and Mercury have joined the eighth house of shared resources. Okay, they've joined a house that deals with trauma, that deals with secrets, hidden things, okay, troubles, accidents, killers, witches, and like the dark world. But now, what's very important, you guys, you need to really look at this magical thing that's happening here. Meghan Markle has come into this dark area, like this dark house, because an eighth house is a bit darkish because it's like taboo, taboo subject. And now she's bringing light in the form of sun. Okay. And now she is like having this huge light because why? Because it's magnified by Rahu. Okay, it's going with Rahu. Rahu just, as we said, magnifies anything that it touches and it changes itself. So in this case, Rahu is acting like sun and at the same time like Mercury. Okay, so this is a powerful contribution that Meghan Markle is doing here with her planets, because what she's doing with this light is that she is now opening secrets that we did not know. She is shining, and we can see now in this dark place, we can see all the secrets. We can see all the ghosts. We can see all the buried bodies. We can see all the buried abuse, violence, accident. We can see it all now because she has come into his life with this huge light and opened that dark room, the eighth house. It was so dark, we didn't see, we didn't know there were secrets, we didn't know there was abuse, we didn't know, but now we know. Now we know, don't we? Of course we do know, guys, because this is what we see playing out in front of our eyes. We are now learning about secret things that we didn't know about, the royal family and, how they do things. We're like, oh, okay, wow, So thanks to the interviews that that Meghan Markle has done, we now know because she came in with that light, with that huge light, sun. And she's also burning stuff down, okay? Because remember, sun is hot, okay? Sun is like a mild malefic. So it is very hot. It can burn everything that is around it, okay? So she is now burning literally all the ghosts that are that have been troubling Prince Harry's life from the eighth house. She's also burning down maybe psychological issues that he might have had all this time. Okay, she's putting light on there. She's shining that light. She is, just shining up his life, basically. Okay, his psychological state. Okay. And because she's bringing Mercury, she's also communicating, okay, or enabling Prince Harry to communicate about the subjects of this eighth house, about the things that are hidden, about the taboo subjects that were not talked about the secrets, about the abuse, the violence, the trauma, the shared resources, because I mean, guys, do you remember how they were cut off from the resources, like security, state security, or stuff like that? Because that's the eighth house, shared resources, or money of other people. So Meghan Markle came in, and because she came in this house of in-laws, her in-laws, the royal family, and she came with this light, and now she was able to release Prince Harry from shed, or maybe release, or maybe take away Prince Harry from heritage. Actually, yeah, that's what happened, because now Prince Harry, is not counted on when it comes to other, heritage things that he could have inherited. So he lost that. But, he also lost that because he got his psychological state opened, or he could see the secrets. Or maybe, this is very interesting. You know why it's so interesting? Is that it could be read in different ways, and it would need to, for us to get like a full picture, would really have to go through the whole chart, which we will not be doing. But just take the sun for an example. Sun here is very comfortable because it's in the house owned by Moon, his best friend. Okay, so meaning that Sun is in a positive position, is doing a positive thing, is doing a positive job in Prince Harry's life. Okay, it's not like burning things down to the point that there's a damage. Okay, because it's in a good position in terms of the energy that is feeling. Okay, but Sun is with Rahu. Rahu and Sun are enemies. Okay, and Rahu is in the house owned by Moon, again another enemy. Okay, so meaning that Rahu and Sun are literally could be working in a way that they're irritating each other. Okay, Sun is trying to do positive work, but Rahu, because Rahu likes to exaggerate and to do all these things, maybe Rahu is not feeling so confident to really be the Rahu that he is, But for sure, we know everything in terms of secrets opening up, in terms of wow, and in terms of Prince Harry losing heritage. Okay. And it's so interesting because this situation is happening directly opposite that seventh aspect, which is the second house, his second house representing, money, like say his savings, his resources, his material assets, his family principles. So we can see really that there is that loss of heritage that happened there, and at the same time there is some sudden changes that occurred in terms of his family principles, family values, family background, because of that seventh aspect. Okay. So this really just confirms what we already know from the media, actually, nothing new. Okay. So now let's move on to the ninth house. Here we find Meghan's Venus. Okay, as we have said that Meghan's Venus is actually her Atma Karaka. Okay, that is her might, that is her strength, that is her her crown. Venus, her life is formed around Venus. Okay, and now it's coming to join. Interesting. To join Prince Harry's son, which is also his Atma Karaka. Okay? We actually didn't talk about this in part one, but guys, this is a powerful combination. Okay? Both of their strengths, both of their might have come together in one. Okay? And in an energy that is supporting Prince Harry's Atma Karaka. Okay, but now the problem is that Venus and Sun don't get along together. They don't go well together at all, you guys. Okay, meaning that her Venus, her strength, her might is being burnt down, or maybe not down, but is being burnt. Okay, by merging with his might. Okay, there's some bruising that is happening to her strength. There's some bruising that is happening to her might, herself, her whole life. Okay, but it's something again that we already know. All right, guys, we already know this. And this is obviously opposite the third house, house of media, house of entertainment, writing, not like entertainment in terms of cinema, because that would be like the fifth house, but in terms of publicity, advertising, marketing. And we already know that, that is her field. But now she has joined with his strength, or their strengths have combined, and they're looking at the media, meaning that they could be very successful, and they already started with their podcasts. They already signed contracts for movies, for books. We already know this. Okay, and it's thanks to her Venus, because her Venus is now smoothing out, that part, because Venus is the character of all things media. Okay. Yes, that is a natural house owned by Mercury. Let's not get it wrong. But in terms of entertainment, then that's Venus. Okay. Mercury owns media and writing as well. Okay. Is a significator of that. Now let's move on to the 10th house. Lots of stuff happening here. So Prince Harry had Venus here, and his Venus was comfortable here in Virgo, which is owned by Mercury, like a best friend to Venus. So he was just, comfortable being in the public, and also having a public persona that surrounded all things Venusian. Okay, we know he went to the military, but he also had charities, or he went and served for charities and stuff like that, like sensitive stuff. Because the thing is with Mercury, with Virgo, okay, Virgo is a zodiac sign that represents service, okay, working, okay, routines, health. So when a planet comes and sits in Virgo, then Mercury here requires that planet to fulfill its roles, okay, the roles of Mercury from the Virgo perspective. Okay, guys? But the most wonderful things that has happened here is that Meghan has added her Jupiter here, okay? Meaning that now her being with Prince Harry has made Prince Harry's status be so huge, because Jupiter represents expansion. So now Meghan came into his life, and all of a sudden his status is expanded. We already knew him, but by being with Meghan Markle, it's like they never get off the media. And it's not them, it's just the media. They love to chase them. Okay? But what we also see is that her Saturn also has joined this house. Okay? Saturn represents limitations, restrictions, discipline, authority, and stuff. But Saturn is also very happy to be here because this is a house of Mercury, and Saturn considers Mercury as his friend. Okay? So, meaning that Saturn will require Prince Harry to be in a certain way, or to present himself in a certain way now that he's married to Meghan Markle. Okay, Meghan Markle's Saturn requires Prince Harry to be more disciplined in how he represents himself, to be more structured, to be more authoritative. That's what Satan does. And, putting some restrictions as well into how he represents himself, or his status, or how he serve his public duties. Okay, we already know that he left his job, his royal status, or the services that he was doing under the royal duties, because look at that Satan there restricting him. Okay, but Meghan is also bringing Moon here. Okay, Moon likes to smooth things out wherever it sits. Like, it softens things out. It adds that mother quality. Okay, but it's also with Saturn, and the enemies. Not really, but Moon doesn't have a problem with Saturn. It's just the grumpy Saturn that has a problem with Moon. But Moon gets a lot of support from Jupiter there, we can see, because Jupiter loves Moon. So meaning that Meghan's Moon, which is also the Lord of her ascendant, by the way, it is helping this public status. It is making I don't want to say it is making Prince Harry look or appear a bit softer, but it does. And at the same time, it's irritated. Why? Because Moon is not accepted by Mercury. Moon is in the house owned by Mercury, and Mercury really gets annoyed with Moon. Okay, so meaning that Meghan will try to soften things out for Prince Harry, to nurture, to love, to care, but all that caring and that nurturing is irritated because of the public status that is, this correspondence is happening in. Okay. And we already know, guys, because we already know they under scrutiny every day. And wow, it's quite like very interesting when you look at it from the astrology. Then everything makes sense. Then you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's why they're going through all of it. It says because of these planets. Okay. And lastly, we're just going to look at the 12th house because there's also a lot of stuff happening there. Meghan's Neptune, Uranus, Lilith, they are in Prince Harry's 12th house. 12th house, again, house of secrets, house of secret enemies, house of death, house of foreign places, hospitals, jails, stuff like that. And with Uranus here, we just see a lot of changes, like a lot of fast movement, fast changes, And Neptune can bring either spirituality or confusion. Okay? But we also know that the 12th house represents the bedroom and the feet, literally the feet. Okay? So, guys, yeah, that's about it, eh? It's just interesting to always see what we hear from the media, from, an analysis like this, because we get to be more patient with people, we get to be more understanding, to not judge, to not blame, but to understand that the universe has created this experience for them in order to experience what they need to, and to serve their karmas. Okay, so from our perspective, we need to be more understanding, more patient, more supportive. You okay, guys? So thanks so much. I'll chat to you soon. That's it.